Most people think Tech Jacket is just another side hero in the Invincible universe. Cool armor, decent powers, and that's it. But what if I told you his story spans alien invasions, galaxy-ending threats, and battles so intense they'd leave even Viltrumite second-guessing themselves? Today, we're breaking down his entire story, from high school nobody to his most insane victories and darkest moments. And trust me, by the end, you'll see why even Viltrumites feared him. Zach Thompson is just an ordinary high school student until everything changes in one moment. A dying alien crashes right into his life, bringing with him a powerful suit called a Tech Jacket. This suit gets permanently attached to his chest. The alien Kelda belongs to a weak race known as the Galarians. Galarians are physically weak, so their survival plan is to bond every newborn with a Tech Jacket. The Tech Jacket is a suit full of weapons and powers, fused with the wearer's body. As Kelda's ship breaks apart and he dies, he gives one final command to the Tech Jacket: detach and attach itself to Zach, who is just trying to help. Kelda then dies, and Zach is left wearing the most powerful weapon in the universe. At first, Zach doesn't know what to make of the suit. He tests its powers by stopping some low-level criminals and saving his dad from trouble. He then tells Dad everything that had led to him fighting off the goons. Just then, the other Galarians arrive on Earth, thinking Zach stole the Tech Jacket after Kelda died. This leads to Zach being taken to their homeworld for a trial. On the way to the trial, their transport is attacked by the Crash, a dangerous alien species who happens to be the Galarians' main enemies. Zach jumps in to help fight them off, showing skill and strength. The Galarians realize Zach is not an average person. They decide to work with him instead of against him. At the trial, the Emperor looks closely at Gelda's Tech Jacket and confirms that Zach received the suit legitimately. Zach learns something important. Human bodies are stronger than Galarians. Because of this, the Tech Jacket boosts Zach's strength to levels far beyond the usual users. The Emperor offers Zach a new mission: help end the war against the Crash, a powerful enemy that attacks planets across the galaxy. Zach agrees immediately. Zach trains hard with Konda, the Emperor's best soldier. Konda teaches him to control the suit, improve his fighting skills, and manage his powers. Zach learns quickly. Soon, he is fighting on the front lines, destroying Crash forces alone. He becomes an elite warrior. The Emperor awards him medals, including the special Galarian Medal of Honor. Meanwhile, the Galarian Princess Lynn starts to develop feelings for him. Then, the Emperor and his scientists reveal their most dangerous plan yet: teleport Zach inside the Crash main ship and destroy it from within. Zach accepts without hesitation. Inside the Crash main ship, Zach fights wave after wave of enemies. He destroys the ship from the inside out and even rescues a kitten caught in the battle. While Zach fights inside the main ship, the rest of the Crash fleet attacks Galarian's capital city. Zach rushes back and finds the city under heavy attack. He destroys enemy warships, defeats enemy soldiers, and rescues many civilians from the fighting. The battle ends with Galdaria badly damaged but still standing. The Emperor thanks Zach and promises to rebuild the city. He offers Zach the choice to stay and help or return to Earth. Zach chooses to go home. He boards a ship with Konda and returns to Earth. Lynn is sad but understands his decision. When Zach arrives, he finds his house empty. A realtor tells him his parents have been missing for 6 months, the exact time Zach has been in space. With no leads, Zach stays at his father's old hardware store. One night, 2 gangsters come looking for some documents. These documents could link the disappearance of Zach's parents to their boss, Mr. Capella. Zach puts the pieces together. He realizes Capella's gang is responsible for his parents' disappearance. He fights the gangsters and forces them to take him to Capella. When Zach meets Capella, he threatens the gang leader to stop hurting his family. Capella agrees to erase his father's debt, but says he does not know where Zach's parents are. Then Zach remembers the lake house. He flies there and finds his parents hiding. They had gone into hiding after Zach disappeared, afraid the gang wanted to kill them. Their reunion is short-lived. Before they can relax, a fleet of Crash warships arrives, aiming to kill Zach. But Zach destroys every enemy ship. After the fight, Zach reunites with his mother. His neighbors, who witnessed the battle, now know who he is. The Galarians arrive late, as usual. They say they came to help with the remaining Crash forces, but Zach has already taken care of most of the fight. However, the trouble is not over. The Galarians tell Zach their mothership is under attack. Zach teams up with Konda to fight a terrifying enemy, the Scav Engine. This enemy is a massive living machine that eats metal, debris, and entire ships. It grows larger with every meal. Worst of all, Princess Lynn and her crew are trapped inside the mothership, attacked by the Scav Engine. Zach goes inside the machine. He fights through danger and chaos to rescue everyone trapped inside. He guides them to escape pods, just before the Scav Engine finishes its meal. Mission accomplished. With no ships or cruisers left, the Galarians hitch a ride to Earth with Zack and decide to live in the town till they can find a ride back. The mayor also allows the Galarians to stay in town whilst keeping quiet about it. While waiting, Zack and Lynn begin to date. 2 weeks later, as the Galarians prepare to leave, the Emperor gives Zack a special gift. He modifies Zack's bedroom closet door into a portal leading to his own space station. Now, Zack can watch over Earth and stay ready for any future space threats. From that moment, Zack officially calls himself Tech Jacket. Some time passes, and what's Tech Jacket's next big problem? Fighting someone literally named Invincible. No, not that Mark Grayson. No, the other Mark Graysons. Plural. Welcome to Multiverse Madness. While the usual hero squad is busy fighting it out with alternative versions of Mark, Zack is busy with fighting the remaining Mark variants, destroying the planet. In the Tech Jacket digital issues, we find out Zack didn't just drop one Invincible variant, but he took down two. First up, long-haired Mark, aka Hairvincible. Things go downhill fast. As Zack crash lands back to Earth, another Invincible variant jumps in. Now it's 2-on-1. Zack's getting beaten badly across the battlefield, and he knows it. Trading punches? Nope. Laser beams? No dice. So Zack does what he does best. He adapts and overloads his suit until he becomes a walking explosion. The blast wipes out both evil Marks, but nearly kills Zack in the process. Bruised, battered, and hanging between life and death, Zack gets rescued by the Galarians after his dad calls for backup. He wakes up in a hospital surrounded by his parents and Princess Lynn. Months pass, and some physical and mental rewiring later, Zack finally recovers, but he's not okay. The trauma from the near-death experience is still there, so his mom suggests he and Lynn go for a vacation as long as they don't do any hanky-panky. But of course, that stuff was bound to happen. While on vacation, as Zack and Lynn try to get close, they realize their bodies are very different. They can't actually be together in that way. Lynn wants to talk about it, but Zack ignores her and asks what's there to talk about. This angers Lynn and she walks out of the room. Then comes the next disaster. Null, a hired fighter sent to rip Zack's armor off and give it to his client. Zack, still angry, leaves to find clarity. But before he can get his head straight, Null shows up and turns Kansas into a giant hole. So Zack goes to face off against Null, but he proves to be too strong for him. Zack's dad sees the destruction and calls for help, but the Galarians are too far away. Fortunately, Lynn is still on Earth, and without any hesitation, she shows up to help Zack. Her presence buys Zack just enough time to think, and Zack finally does what heroes do, acts under fire. With one last power-up, he contacts his dad to evacuate the space station, then drags Null into orbit and slams them both into it. At the last second, he opens a portal and teleports Null far from Earth into the sun right before the station collapses. And after that, Zack is once again left floating unconscious in space, barely clinging to life. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself in a hospital bed surrounded by family and tears, with his girlfriend at his side. A month later, Lynn leaves to go and talk to other planets as the Galarian princess, but not before they agree to keep seeing other people, while staying in a relationship. Then comes the Viltrumite War, and of course, Zack Thompson gets dragged in. Omni-Man and Alan the Alien show up on Zack's space station with one hell of a recruitment pitch. Join the coalition of planets to stop a race of superhuman fascists from turning the universe into their own personal gym. Zack knew the Tech Jacket wasn't just helpful, but it may just tip the damn scales. So he said yes. On the way to coalition space, the ship gets torn apart by three of the strongest Viltrumites, Conquest, Lucan, and Craig. Zack manages to survive this encounter. Meanwhile, Invincible goes after Conquest and ends up stranded on another planet, along with Omni-Man and Oliver. Zack ends up converting his Tech Jacket into a small ship that latches on to the Viltrumite ship, letting them hide in plain sight until Alan is able to get in range and send the signal to the coalition and send backup. When reinforcements come, Zack dives back into the war. However, the Tech Jacket wasn't built to fight against enemies with brute strength such as the Viltrumites. So Zack ends up joining Thetis, the leader of the coalition on Telescria, and continues freeing planets that were taken over by the Viltrum Empire. During this chaotic time, Zack forms a tight bond with Alan the Alien. But then the Viltrumites fight back and gather their forces for one last strike on Telescria, the coalition capital. Zack and Alan are there when all hope seems lost, holding the line as their defenses collapse. But in the typical comic book style plot twist, the Graysons return and start helping the coalition out in countering the Viltrumite attack. With momentum switched, the Viltrumites decide to retreat. And it is then that Thetis decides to launch one final attack on Viltrum itself, hoping to catch them off guard. Zack, Alan, the Graysons, Battle Beast, Space Racer, and Thetis all go in for the kill. But surprise, the Viltrumites aren't dumb as they position Thula on guard duty, who spots the Coalition and then alerts the other Viltrumites. The battle is violent. However, Zack, following Thetis' command, dodges all the Viltrumites, and the Coalition manages to literally fly through the planet's core, resulting in the planet exploding. The aftermath leaves Thrag, the leader of the Viltrumites, furious, who manages to kill Thetis by taking off his head from his body. And then Thrag goes after the Graysons. Both Alan and Zack try to pitch in, but Space Racer tells them that they have to leave right now since the plan was to simply destroy Viltrum, and being as outnumbered as they are, they have to leave the Graysons fending for themselves. Fortunately, the Graysons survive because Thrag decides that he needs all the Viltrumites there are and takes his leave along with the rest of the Viltrumites. 2 weeks later, Mark wakes up to find out that Alan is now the head of the Coalition of Planets and that Viltrumites have vanished ever since the war. Mark and Omni-Man, both scared to death, immediately head to Earth with Zack's help to check if the Viltrumites destroyed it as payback. Lucky for them, the Viltrumites and the Graysons manage to make a deal, and Earth stays safe. Meanwhile, Zack simply heads back to the space station where he meets his father after several months, and the two share a sweet moment. After the Viltrumite War, Zack is back on Earth's front lines with a huge responsibility, protecting the entire planet from alien threats. His dad handles the bigger galactic picture from the space station, while Zack patrols Earth's orbit. Meanwhile, billionaire Nicholas Crow, self-proclaimed savior of humanity thanks to his flashy rockets, robotic armies, and top-tier upgrades, can't stand Zack's role as Earth's galactic guardian. To Crow, Zack is just a community college dropout wearing alien tech. Crow's right-hand assistant Stanley, a robot built from the ground up to crunch impossible data and solve complex problems faster than any human mind, tells Crow the tech jacket Zack wears is made from Galarian technology, alien tech from a faraway world, and that Zack is involved with Princess Lynn, a member of the Galarian royalty. That revelation rattles Crow. Suddenly, Zack isn't just a nobody anymore. He's tied to alien royalty. But instead of seeing Zack as a rival to eliminate, Stanley advises Crow to consider teaming up with him. Crow's plan? Buy the tech jacket from Zack, seize control of his powers, and use him as a figurehead to lead his robotic army, the Tech Jacket Corps, aiming to dominate the galaxy with Crow pulling all the strings. Meanwhile, a massive vessel drifts silently into Mercury's orbit. The humans see it as a ship, but Zack senses something's off. It doesn't behave like any ship he's seen before. Up in orbit, Zack and his dad receive a distress call from Princess Lynn. She's trapped aboard a ship under attack by strange tentacles. Lynn warns Zack of the danger, but before she can explain further, another Galarian pulls her to safety. The urgency in her voice leaves no doubt that this is serious. Watching Lynn's desperate message, Zack wastes no time. He teleports to Mercury's orbit, convinced that the giant vessel, now called the Colossal, has attacked her ship. The vast distance causes Zack to lose contact with his dad. Suddenly, Zack finds himself inside a ship. This one is made of flesh, pulsing, living tissue. Tentacles lashing out, wrapping him in a deadly grip. Earth's galactic guardian is swallowed whole by a living nightmare. Meanwhile, Zack's dad watches news feeds anxiously, searching for any sign of Zack or the Colossal. All he finds is ominous silence. No signals, no contact. Trapped inside the Colossal's stomach, Zack fights tentacles squeezing him like a juice box. He struggles, desperate for an opening. By sheer luck, his feet slip free from the alien guts, landing on what looks like a floor, but that quickly turns out to be acidic tissue. And inside this stomach lies an entire hidden city. In this gross underworld, Zack meets a mysterious alien whose language his fried translator can't decode. After a tense standoff, the alien drools a nasty substance onto Zack's helmet, miraculously rebooting his suit. Unappreciative of the alien's kiss, Zack fires a blast at him. The alien fights back with lightning speed, piercing Zack's chest plate with a sharp strike. Zack wakes battered but alive, held captive by another alien wearing stolen Galarian armor. This one claims he slaughtered countless Galarians to steal the suit after they attacked his city. Back on Earth's space station, Zack's parents pray in silence, fearing the worst. Zack battles the armored alien, sensing raw nervous rage beneath his attacks. Just as Zack is about to finish him off, tentacles-covered minions swarm in. Zack realizes the armored alien is like a cancer in the Colossal's body. With surgical precision, he chops off its head and tears through the defenses. Suddenly, a massive tentacle grabs Zack and drags him deeper into the beast. The Colossal forcibly reboots his tech jacket, merging him with new, powerful armor and rewiring his mind. Zack yells at the Colossal to stop, but the creature insists his old life is over. Back on Earth, Crow shows up at Zack's parents' home, offering a deal. Hand over the Tech Jacket rights, and he'll send his robot army, the Tech Jacket Corps, to save Zack. In return, Zack gets a normal life free from danger. At first, Zack's parents hesitate. Suddenly, their house explodes. From the wreckage flies a pod carrying Princess Lynn, badly injured and claiming she's looking for Zack. She's rushed to a facility run by Crow. Meanwhile, Stanley informs Crow that the U.S. military is heading to the Colossal to assess whether it's an existential threat. Military forces rush to Mercury's orbit, ready to attack, but the military spaceship's systems are compromised. Controlled by the Colossal, Zack carries the U.S. Army spaceship to the Colossal, and it attempts to convert soldiers into its lackeys. But a commander triggers a nuclear strike, blasting away part of the Colossal. The blast frees Zack's body and mind from the Colossal's control. However, the nuke leaves Zack too weak to move, floating helplessly in space, until Crow's Tech Jacket Corps arrives and drags him back to Earth. Back home, Zack is rushed into surgery, where Crow's robots try to remove the Tech Jacket and seize control. But Stanley warns Crow that the Tech Jacket's power has dramatically changed. The suit goes rogue, slicing through the robots. Crow orders Stanley to remotely pilot a giant robot to subdue Jack. The robot punches Zack, who is already unconscious, to stop the suit's rampage. Meanwhile, the Colossal hijacks Crow's teleporter and sends soldiers to Earth. Zack regains consciousness and, with the Tech Jacket Corps' help, fights off waves of Colossal troops. When reinforcements keep coming, Zack blows up the teleporter to cut off their supply. Before Zack can explode at Crow, Crow cools him down by revealing Lynn is safe and under his care. Zack rushes to see Lynn. Once discharged, they return home. There, Zack's parents shock him. They've sold the Tech Jacket rights to Crow. Furious, Zack storms off to the space station, insisting he can handle the Tech Jacket on his own. While Zack reflects, a massive explosion occurs nearby. Galarian soldiers wearing Tech Jacket armor pour out, marching toward Earth. Zack tries to make conversation with them, but is blindsided when the Galarian chick named Zai bursts into his house, hugging and kissing Lynn passionately. Apparently, Lynn got herself a girlfriend. Zack is shocked. Zai explains that the Colossal is one of many scout ships built by the Galarians to fight an unknown space threat. The Colossal evolved a mind of its own. There are thousands of these scout ships. Zack couldn't care less at that moment. He and Zai exchange heated words. Zack scolds Lynn for getting with Zai and then storms off to the space station. Zack's mother teleports there and tells him she understands that it's been rough, but it's time to grow up and sort out his issues with Lynn. If they decided they were going to see other people. Zack then notices the Colossal merging with other scout ships. Zack, Zai, and Lynn board the Colossal to negotiate peace, but are attacked by its soldiers. As they fight, their argument heats up until Lynn steps in. She reminds them she's the only living Galarian princess and orders them to focus on the real threat. Zai tells the Colossal it's not a god, reminding it that her ancestors built it. So they are the gods, not it. She demands it share all its knowledge and unite against the threat. Lynn, after talking to the Colossal, confirms the stakes. They're fighting reality's immune system itself, a thing that the universe created to deal with species that have evolved beyond their natural evolution like the Galarians. The Colossal's plan? Use the sun's energy to power a weapon capable of killing its immune system. Time is running out. Their only hope is to hold the line until the weapon's ready. Zack and Zai agree to team up temporarily, heading to Mercury's outer realm to stall the enemy. Their efforts slow the threat, but don't stop it. Zack suggests merging all the Tech Jacket Corps robots into one giant robot piloted by Lynn, Zai, and himself. Just before they can execute the plan, Null attacks Zack. Reality's immune system saves him at the last second by eliminating Null and allowing Zack to enter the massive Colossal Tech Jacket hybrid. Lynn controls the gun, Zai handles combat, and Zack steers navigation. Together, they unleash the giant Tech Jacket robot to fight Reality's immune system. Lynn fires the weapon, and Reality's immune system is defeated. Afterward, Stanley's mind uploads into the Colossal Tech Jacket hybrid, allowing Lynn, Zai, and Zack to escape. Stanley now controls the Colossal, exploring worlds and battling Reality's immune system wherever it appears. A year later, Zack finds peace on a farm. No wars, no alien invasions, just quiet days and kids playing with Tech Jacket toys. With Rudy now controlling Earth, the Galactic Guardian isn't really needed anymore. But Zack's parents discover he's been secretly keeping a Tech Jacket all along. Zack admits he kept it quietly for a year, just in case he ever needed it again. He handed the old suit to Crow, but kept a new one hidden, out of sight and out of mind, until his parents found out. What they don't know? Zack moved his space station to the moon and now works with Lynn and Zai to keep peace across the galaxy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to be notified of any latest uploads. That said, see you in the next one.